Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, CDT. You can refer to me as Miss T. I didn't know that picture was still up there. I didn't do that. The Nutcracker. Anyway, you guys see the thumbnail. I thought since we did the keys to victory for Errol Spence yesterday, we'll get into the keys to victory for Terence Crawford. And I said, the keys to victory are simplistic and will be easy to carry out. That is an opinion, but I believe my opinion is solid. You know, in my Nixon voice, solid. Anyway, y'all know how we get down. We're going to get into that and much more, but you know how we do. First, let's turn to I didn't.
They never contacted me back. Oh. And then I found out that they don't call you anymore when it's time to pick up your medication. You have to.
Welcome back to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to me as Miss T. Oh, Lord. It's a lovely, what's the day? Today is Tuesday. I don't know why I had to look at the damn phone to see. But y'all know what we talk about at the top of my hour. Water check. And today, I actually drank a lot of water today. I'm over here drinking a soda. That's right, I said it. I'm over here drinking a lot of soda. I see you active activists is in the building. Yes, active activists. I'm drinking a Coke. But I'm going to tell you guys, that cooler, that's a good thing. I think that's one of my best buys this year. Because I told you guys, first of all, modern day coolers, I don't know how, I always thought the water was kind of cool coming out the cooler anyway, even the older coolers. But I ain't with all this picking up that damn bottle and turning it over. So I got a cooler that you just bottom loaded. You just put it in a bottle. And then, I ain't got to drip water everywhere, none of that crap. Um, on the cooler, I have a hot button, and I'm telling you that water is extremely hot. So while I'm in my room, let's say I want some tea, I can drink some tea, and I sweeten my tea with honey, and I have a bottle of honey, and I don't like I go to some people's house, and honey be all hanging outside the bottle. I don't care. I don't go through all that shit. The active actors know me. I ain't. That's creating a climate for some nastiness or a roachy bug or something. No, I don't do that. So my bottle of honey is real easy, and it actually tastes sweet. I don't like overly sweet things anyway. But yeah. So if I want some warm tea to settle my stomach, boom. And it got a cold button, and then it has a cool button. So I haven't tasted the cool button. I would imagine it's like room temperature, a little bit cooler. But the cold button is pretty cold, but it's that kind of cold like you don't want to sit it down for 5-10 minutes. It seems like it won't be cold no more. But shit, when it comes straight out, boom. And what I do is I buy 5-ounce little cups. You can buy whatever design. Ain't no special kind of cup, but I look for like 5 ounces or something like that. Not quite 8 ounces. And let me tell you, 2 big sips, boom, I'm done. And then I'll be like, before I walk away, I'll be like, I'm gonna be thirsty more than this. So I get some more. I fill it up, and I fill it to the brim. Drink that, and then sometimes I go in for a third one. And in doing so, I manage to hit up like or get close to, if not more, than the 16-ounce bottle of water. Now, if you handed me a bottle of water, a 16-ounce bottle, I wouldn't finish that shit. I would drink half of it, maybe, or close to half, and then it'd be sitting there. That's why people got so many water bottles all laying around the house, because they like to hit it when it's nice and cold. And that's what I like the cooler. Today, I drank over 100 ounces. I didn't know it, but look, 20 cups, 25-ounce cups of that water. I'm pretty much at my goal. How easy is that? Active says squeeze his thighs together to trap Earl hands when he punched low. How I catch his glove with my legs, and it ain't a low. I feel you make me think of Richard Pryor when he said, I think it was in the song Tupac had called "The Hearts of Men," and he said he was whoever was winning. That's my fight. But then when he did a comedy routine, he's like, some guy, like they was fighting, trying to be in the gang or something, and the guy hit him in the chest, or it was his dad, hit him in the chest, and he said, my chest caved in around the fist. And then when he went to draw it back, he was like hopping with it, like, nah, he ain't gonna let that fist go. That was some funny crap, boy. But back to the water, okay? So I reached my goal and didn't even know it earlier today. Didn't even know it. And I was like, wow. So that cooler is all that. Y'all, it's the best couple of $100. I think I spent, it might have been $225. They got different prices. I've seen them for lower than that, bottom loaders. And but a lot of the cheaper ones are the old school way, you put it on the top. And they don't necessarily look old school, but then they got the old school look too. Those are reasonably expensive. Whatever it is, man, I'm hooked. Um, I haven't figured out, am I saving a lot more money compared to buying water bottles? I can't figure it out. But I will still buy some water bottles and put in my mini fridge. I'm telling you, those are two best buys or gadget that I've bought in recent times. I just had to rebuy a mini fridge maybe a year and a half ago, because the other one I had just wore out. Now I've had a mini fridge for a minute, and my cheapest electric bill this year was $115. Yes, actives. I had $115 electric bill, and you know how big my house is. My house is huge, and it came out to that with that constantly being plugged up. So it don't change your electric bill. But that's my spiel. That's my little soapbox on gadgets when it's concerning water. But we advocate here at Boxing Fans Talk TV that the average person drink at least 100 ounces of water, even though the formula is half your body weight in ounces of water. And we know that if you're 16 and up, you can drink a gallon of water a day. Uh, Athletes, whether you're elite or not, people who like play high school sports or college sports, or if you're just a real physical person, most of those people drink water all the time. So, um, but the average person who's not into a lot of physicality, they're not drinking water like that. And matter of fact, I'm never shocked when I talk to people, because sometimes I just go up to people and be like, "Do you drink a lot of water?" And they be like, "That's a crazy question. I'm just curious." Mark Nash is in the building. What's poppin', King? Saying 100. The water sprout. Yeah. Uh, 7/29. Oh yeah. The date of the fight. 2 times undisputed. Indeed, history will be made. I hope we get that press conference this week. Yeah, I know Teofimo Lopez and Josh Taylor's press conference is this Thursday. We're gonna talk about that later. But yeah, if you a person that don't drink a lot of water, at least drink 2 8-ounce cups of water per day, once in the morning before you get your morning routine going. Have it on the nightstand. As I always say, learn how to drink water at room temperature. Now, that's easily said and done. I myself prefer cold ass water, like cold water, ice cold. I mean, anything ice cold, I can drink quickly. I don't know why. Anything room temperature or just cool, take me a minute. And that's anything. Everything I drink, I want it ice cold, except if I get tea or something like that. But just reach over before you start your day and just drink that 8 ounces. If your body is like an engine, the water's the lube. It get everything moving in a timely and efficient manner. Then you have at night when you get out the shower. Now, I'm a person to take my showers and stuff at night. Then I throw on my jammy jams and I get in the bed. And in the morning, I might wake up and wash my face, brush my teeth, all that good stuff. But I don't necessarily take a shower first thing in the morning. But if I felt like it depends on how you feel. If you feel like you had bad dreams, sometimes you can have bad dreams and sweat through the night, you know. Um, and then I wake up and say, man, I need a shower this morning. I don't know. Sometimes you can do other things. You wake up and say, I need a shower this morning. But you know what I mean. Taking a shower in the morning and going out first thing in the winter, not cool. Not always cool. So that's why a lot of people take their showers at night. But everybody different. But if you take your shower at night and you're about to get prepared for bed, you're not going to fall asleep right away. The American Heart Association says at that time, you should be drinking 8 ounces of water. It's going to help your heart. And you should always be heart-minded. I don't care how old you are. Take care of your heart as early as you start thinking about it. If somebody put it on your mind, and if you're hearing me for the first time, and I'm telling you take care of your heart and you're 19 years old, hey, start the regiment now. You know what I'm saying? You're going to thank yourself later. Because you can tell people you can tell the difference between you and people who wasn't minded enough to, get into their health or whatever a little bit early, at least on some levels. You know what I'm saying? I had a friend who passed, what was it? 2021. I didn't even know it. Active activists had to help me find his obituary. Pat, I didn't even know it. He was 2 years younger than me. But you know what? When we was 10 and 11, his parents ain't tripped when he was drinking beer and smoking weed and smoking cigarettes. My mama would have had a cow. His parents didn't trip. So, I didn't even start having bad vices until I was over 21. So there's a difference right there. So that's why I say, if you hear it, take heed to it. It might not seem like a big deal now, but you will thank yourself later. And don't be out here being dehydrated. This is summer. This have not been a terrible summer as far as heat index and all that. I'm shocked because it's not as hot here as it normally could be. In fact, we have some cool nights. And I be like, what? I'm not utilizing. I got the AC on, but it's not flipping on because the house is staying cool. Anyway, that's better for my pockets. Hey. But when you drink that water and you go to sleep, understand that your body is working. It's not you, even though you're resting and your mind is at ease, your body is kicking in overdrive. It's doing a lot of work, recharging, rebooting, recreating, redirecting, all kinds of reads going on. And guess what? And because it's working so hard, that's why the average human burns between 900 to 1,000 calories at night in a deep sleep, not cat naps. Don't confuse deep sleep with cat naps. But drink your water, water, water. And I'm telling y'all, get that cooler. You gonna thank me later. Anyway, enough about the water, even though it's important. Um, let's do a little housekeeping. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. If you have a question, comment, statement, whatever, send, when you're watching me on replay, do leave it. I talk to you guys back. I respond, and a lot of you know I do. And you can write me at boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. That's boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. That's the email. You can also leave a statement, comment, a question, whatever. I get back to you. I'm not monetized yet. I think YouTube is playing with me. They don't ever count my minutes. They don't count a lot of stuff, and then they take my minutes away. I don't know what that's about. But I do have a Cash App, and all proceeds go back into the channel. So thank you for any past donations that you've done and in the future. And that's at Boxing Fans Talk at Boxing Fans Talk TV. I was gonna say at Gmail, but Boxing Fans Talk TV is my Cash App. So do indulge, jump on that joint, embrace it. Anywho, so look, y'all see the topic. Hold up. Damn. What my back scratching? That's crazy. My back itching like crazy. I don't know what that means. It's out the blue, this one area. Anyway, it's driving me nuts. Terence Bud Crawford keys to victory are simplistic and will be easy to carry out. That's my belief. Let me introduce some of y'all. Mark Nash says, smacks and like on the way in the room. Indeed, thank you. Thumbs up. ATL is in the building. Was popping King. He said, Queen T, salute. I'm just getting off. Well, get yourself settled. I know you got to get your drinks together and all that. We still be here. And today we're going to focus on Terence Crawford, keys to victory. I tried to be fair. And, I always would tease. And I tell y'all, I said, man, that's me picking when I talk about Earl. But I was nice and fair, I thought, yesterday. Andrew Charles said, I don't sip water, I chug. Indeed. Last summer was cooking way hotter. Okay. I guess you was on the grill and stuff. But there is definitely a difference. Hold on, y'all. Because my back is, I don't know what the hell this is. Hold on, let me get my back scratching. Give me a hot second. Hot second, y'all. Hot second. Wow. Look, what's so funny is those of you who are a certain age know what I'm talking about. I don't know what it is, but when you get in your 40s, your back be itching. Am I lying? Like, my back has never itched all my life until I got in my 40s. And no, I ain't growing nothing out of my back. My back is clear and smooth as it was as when I was a youngster. But it's just, I don't know what that is. It ain't just me. One year, I gave every woman I know a back scratcher for Christmas. I was a hit. They loved that gift. You know how much back scratchers cost? They like a couple of dollars. And if you get a back scratcher that's $10 or something, you paying way too much. We're talking anywhere from a couple of dollars, $5, maybe. I gave everybody I know one, and they loved the gift because again, now I understand. Um, when we were younger, and your mama be like, "Ooh, ooh, scratch my back," somebody older be like, "Scratch my back," and you be like, why y'all back always itchy?" I don't know what it is. Say, call it your skin changing or whatever the hell. But I keeps a back scratcher on hand uh in my house, in my room, or whatever. Matter of fact, it stays on my bed. Because that's when your back itch in the evening. I don't know what the rule is on these things. But anyway, whew. Well, Lord, I had to do that. Anyway, Andrew Charles said, "Nah, I mean, it was hot as fuck last summer. It ain't been too bad so far." I know, right? I was thinking, like, I know Georgia is hotter than, let's say, Virginia, but the weather is similar because, like, when it rained down here, it's raining up there. Anywho, so let's get to the keys of victory. All right. Um, when I think about attributes that fighters can have naturally within themselves, like you can't pay to have a heart. You can't say I'm gonna pay for this dude to have a heart and he have a heart. That's got to be instinctive in that person or innate in that person. So stuff like that's innate, that you can't buy and can't create or anything like that, that's instinctively to that person. Terence Crawford and Errol Spence have the same. They are not quitters by no means. Neither one of them. They have a heart when it comes to sport. They balls the wall with their shit. When I call Errol Spence relentless, that perfectly describes him. It don't perfectly describes Terence, but he's relentless as well. And relentless could come off in two ways. Like relentless could be like somebody jump on your ass and they don't never get off. A Sean Porter, a Jeff Horn, a Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? There are people out there, them pressure type fighters. They relentless. Some people put pressure on you and they don't be relentless at times. So Terence Crawford is relentless at his approach at fighting, but he's not that type of fighter that jumps on you and just hanging over you the whole time. He methodically approaches his craft differently. That's very unique to him. So I'm gonna say one key to victory, and you might can even say this for Earl, but one key to victory is don't depart from what brought you to the dance. A lot of people like to get to the big dance and then do something differently. Why? When all the stuff that you were doing got you here in the first place. So even though, like, let me give an example. Errol Spence is a fundamentally sound boxer. That's what everybody like to say, that he's fundamentally sound. And he got the fundamentals like down perfect, in other words. um I wouldn't I would want my fighter to know that, but that wouldn't be all that I train. As a boxing coach, yeah, you teach the fundamentals. You do that with every sport. But then you have to teach the other stuff. And with Errol Spence, he's having the success he's having off of just the fundamentals. But it's clear that either he wasn't taught or he's not comfortable or he just doesn't show us the other stuff that you teach boxers, like how to set traps, how to fight backwards, forwards, lateral movements, cutting off the ring, baiting somebody in, feinting, all that other stuff. When I think of those things, I don't necessarily think of Errol Spence, but I think of Terence Crawford. That is him all day. So he won't jump on you and maul you over like a Sean Porter, but he will methodically take you through a bunch of steps. He has a tool bag full of tools. Now he can either use this, two different tools at the same time or three different tools at the same time. He got to know when to mix match these tools, when to put them together, when to use them one at a time. It's just little things he knows. He's methodical, and that makes him an all-around boxer. So I would say overall, his key to victory is to not to depart from what he normally does, but more so to enhance what he does. Let me give an example of that. So when Floyd Mayweather fought Manny Pacquiao, do you think he did the same thing in the regiments that he was doing when he had fights with, let's say, Berto or Maidana or even Canelo or anything like that? Sure, when you're dealing with different people, you might bring one or two or just a few nuances differently to deal with this person because that person is different. With Canelo, Floyd knew he was going to get a big dude. Floyd was hip to the game about Canelo trying to punch your arms out, because if you punch your arms out, you're not going to do the other things that help you in the fight, like hold your hands up, keep it, make it kind of virtually impossible to get hit in the chin, to hide behind your hands, to guard your midsection. I've known people that can put their hands up, or as they say, hold the phone, and damn near cover their whole middle torso. But that got a lot to do with how your physique is, like how you're built. Like a person like me, I have a long torso. From my waist to my shoulders, I have a long torso. And I can say this, like you live with yourself every day and you be like, do you know you got a long torso? But when I look at the other ladies in my family, like especially like even my daughter, her torso is shorter than mine. So our physique is a little different. So if I put my hands up and try to cover my chin, because that's what you try to protect. You try to protect your chin and on the side, of your face. Um, I do that, my whole bottom stomach area is gonna be open because I'm longer. But somebody who has a shorter torso can put their hands up and cover whatever. And so these are like techniques that people employ to protect them. And every fighter that I call a complete fighter does these things, little things. Like they know how to properly tuck their chin. They know how to hold the phone. Even when they throw in a left hook, or if they, what you call a southpaw, if they throw in a right hook, they hold the phone with their left. You understand? So Terrence does all these things. And so what I would say is, like I said, don't get away from what you've been doing. Keep doing what you're doing. But since it's a high pressure fight, instead of you running 6 miles that you might do per fight, like I don't know your regimen, maybe he runs 6 miles a day, take it up to 9. Floyd took it up to 12. Floyd was running 7 to 8 miles every time he got ready for a fight. For Pacquiao, he took it up to 12 because he knew he had to be better. Even though whatever he was doing before was fine, because you never seen Floyd out of breath or tired. I think it was the Maidana fight or one of them fights, and the fight ended and the camera was right there in his face when the final bell rung, and he nodded his head up and down like, mm-hmm. Not huffing and puffing, not tired, none of that shit. We can say that about Bud for sure. We can definitely say that you don't never see him at the end of the fight, even when he knocks his opponents out, because that's pretty much what he do. You don't see him, because when you get hit, especially if you fighting an arduous fight, being hit even if it like you can get hit on the side and not necessarily lose your breath, but at the same time, every time you get touched, your stamina can go down or decrease every time. And when you become tired, then you don't think as clearly and you panic and whatever. So I would say if Errol Spence doing 19 rounds in practice or whatever when he's sparring, then Terrence, you do 22. And I always go back to Floyd because I learned a lot about the mindset of boxing just listening to that man. Floyd was like, it helped him to know that he's out running at night while his opponent is sleeping. That gave him a mental edge. And for Terrence, this fight is going to be all about the mental. So another thing, Terrence got to take away Errol Spence attributes. Errol Spence don't have a lot. He has, to me, we know how we think of Errol Spence. Like he's a basic, fundamental guy. He's a come forward guy, flat footed. He's with that jab. One thing that I do admire him that a lot of fighters, I don't know why they can't or why they don't, but Errol Spence definitely adheres to the rules that's conducive to boxing being throw that jab out there, work off the jab, and be first. You will hear a lot of trainers advocate that with their boxers all the time, and they don't listen. But it's tough. It ain't easy. Try just in practice one day. Go home and just throw up, like if you got a punching bag or something soft, just keep throwing your jab out there and watch. After about, some people 30 seconds, some people might last a minute. But after that, you ain't gonna want to do it no more. Your whole arm hurt, your shoulders, the muscle, the bicep area start hurting. It's fatiguing. So for that fighter like a Errol Spence who constantly throwing his jab out, can you imagine the kind of training and conditioning he got to be in to keep doing that? Because after a while, you're gonna stop. But then you got fighters like let me see, those short runners. I'm gonna say Igis Kavalauskas, the one if the Mean Machine. That's a bad motherfucker. That dude can fight. Y'all call him Mean Machine. Yeah, I guess he cool with the name because I've seen it on his shorts. But he is an awesome fighter. He's really, really good and he's powerful. The problem is he gas out. And relatively quickly. I don't think by the time the 6th round comes, he's spent. He's all the way spent. And when he look back on his career, he gonna realize that the reason he lost the fights he did is because he was tired. If that dude had stamina, I think he'll be beating a lot of people's ass. You know what I'm saying? But when he is with stamina, the first couple of rounds, he's being first. He's throwing them punches. He's doing he's trying to make something happen. But when he run out of steam, that aspect of his game goes away. So first and foremost, that goes without saying. That ain't nothing a key that you got to say about Bud or really Spence. But that is to their credit. They are both well-conditioned dudes when they get in the ring with anybody. They always have condition. Or maybe, just maybe, it's because the competition level. Well, I would say, I think me personally, throughout Bud's career, that he's had a several tough competition. And I know people get on and say, oh, the resume, Miss T, he ain't got no good resume. You guys are crazy. He has an excellent resume, I believe. And he's had some arduous fighters in front of him. Errol Spence has too. I don't think they that much different. The only difference is Danny Garcia. And I already showed that. Don't make me pull up that article where Danny turned that shit down. But that's the only difference. Everybody on Spence's resume, Bud could beat. And everybody on Bud's resume, Spence could beat. Point blank, period. That's it. That's all. But the stamina, they both going to show up for that. But I would say, like I said, take away his attributes. How you do it, you got to wear his ass out. You got to develop in your mind like Sean Porter did. Sean Porter's whole goal when he gets in that ring, because we know Sean Porter can box, but his whole goal is to make you uncomfortable. So that's what he do. He makes you uncomfortable because he know when you're uncomfortable, you're going to be tired. That's his uncomfortable. He's mauling you. He's all over you. You're getting tired. It's all you can do is to throw a punch. That's what he takes you to that place. And that's how Bud got to do with Spence. Part of how he can do it, make Spence pick up his big ass feet. Bud will know what I'm talking about. Some of you guys know what I mean by picking up your feet. Make him have to do that. And Bud can do that with his movement, his IQ. He can make Spence do that. If Spence want to get his rocks off, he got to pick up his feet. He got to, if you want to call it chase him down or whatever, or lock him down, he got to do that. That takes work. And that's making Spence uncomfortable. And when he's uncomfortable, he makes a lot of mistakes. That's why I think Bud believes that it's going to be an easy fight for him. Because a lot of Spence fans won't admit it. But when Spence is uncomfortable, I can't say tired. Sure, both of them probably have gotten tired, but they got good poker faces. But I can't say tired. But when Spence is uncomfortable, he makes a lot of mistakes. What can make somebody uncomfortable? Make them do stuff they don't normally do. I'm not sitting here saying that Spence don't know how to be on his toes. I'm saying every time he in the fight, he don't do it. So I can only go by what his professional record shows. I can't care about what he can do in the gym. So that remains to be seen. Take away his jab and his body work and nut work. You got to take away from that. The jab, I'm almost positive Terence going to take that away. Now, the body work, the reason why I don't think it's going to be a factor is because you got to get to the body. Spence walks you down. He'll use his head to lean on you and push you back. He'll use his jab to back you in the corner. My personal favorite. He either gonna nut cup you, he gonna hit you in the nuts real right quick, and then you're gonna be paused. You're gonna be froze for a second, because it's the only explanation that I can give why his opponents always just stay right there and let him, they don't even be trying to move. Because that move that he do when he's so-called body punching or body snatching, i.e. nut snatching, when he got you in the corner, that takes time. Believe it or not. As I told y'all before, just to throw a jab is several steps in that move. And real good boxers make it look like to the naked eye that all you did was throw your hand out there, but you didn't. You had to step forward, throw your hand, learn how to turn it over at a certain time, displace your weight at a certain way or whatever, be in the right position, feet spread apart a certain way, turn over your back foot so it's on the balls of your feet. I mean, it's several moves in just one thing called the jab. But again, if you're that good like a Terence and Errol Spence, you make it look real easy. But those steps take time. So when he gets you in that corner, back you up with the jab and all that, he then gonna sit down and he's gonna rip them punches to your body, right? But even that is slower than his jab. So in order for Terence to take away the body / nut snatching, when he get in that position, attack him. Attack him, because all his face and everything gonna be available for whatever. Attack him. Another way to take away that is to make him pick his feet up and make him move. Because Errol Spence can't sit down and body snatch if he's steadily moving or on his toes. Make him get on his toes. Like I said, being uncomfortable, make him pick his feet up. Do what you did to get to the dance. Just enhance it. Don't get like Gary Russell did and go lift weights right before his big fight. I know that at the time that Gary met up with Lomachenko only had a few fights, 3 or 4 fights, I don't know. But at that time, anybody could see that they was building Lomachenko up like he was the second coming. Even then, they were describing Lomachenko like he's way better than Floyd. Floyd at his prime and Lomachenko now, at that time, Lomachenko will win hands down. He could beat, I think I heard somebody say they compared him to Ali and or Sugar Ray Robinson, one of them, Sugar Ray Leonard, I think. I was like, man, get the fuck out of here. Lomachenko, at 60 years, he ain't on that level. And you can't tell that in the first 5 fucking fights. But nonetheless, Gary knew that they was building that dude up like he was the second coming. And what did Gary do? He go to camp like he always go to camp. He do something different. Now, he didn't say it right away at the in the ring, when they interview him, or at the post press conference, but subsequently years later, he said, I was lifting weights. Maybe that year, maybe months later, he comes back and say, I was lifting weights. Gary, if you never did that before the other fights, why would you do that before this fight? And why would you do that when you know this is a big ass fight for you? They were building Lomachenko. They wanted him to be the man. And I dare say it, the great white height. They really were building him. And you chose one of your biggest fights in your career to change up and lift some fucking weights? Are you crazy? Deontay Wilder recently was bench pressing. Deontay, we know you strong as a bitch. And it does look weird for you to be a little heavyweight, like the skinny legs and all that good stuff, and be hitting like you do. But why, when you have to fight Tyson Fury again, would you go to lifting weights? You didn't do that shit with the first fight, and you knocked his ass out. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, I gotta admit, I was a little worried when I was like, Terence is doing different things. I'm gonna include myself in it too. Like, sometimes as YouTube content creators get carried away with how we title shit. We gotta leave you hanging just a little bit. But if you look at some of the titles, man, you be like, what? He doing what? And then they all turn out to be a front row seat to nothing. Terence Crawford is doing the same thing he's been doing. It's just when he comes from Colorado Springs, he's coming to Vegas. That's the only difference. He won't be in Omaha. Like, I think they left today, or they leaving tomorrow, very soon. ATL said Dollar Tree. That's where you get your back scratcher. Quentin Bradley is in the building. Said, good evening, Miss T. Listening, tuned in. I feel you. Active said, what's going on, y'all? Facts. He said Robinson. Yeah. I think they did compare him to Robinson, which is bullshit. Bourgeois bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Martin King Boxing is in the building. Was Poppin' King? He said, top of the evening, Miss T, aka at Boxing Fans Talk TV. Yeah, so oddly enough, when I think about the keys to victory for Bud, he doesn't have to do a lot. Not at all. Bud has to remember to stay him, do what it took to get you to the dance, just enhance it. That's it. You already know you can fight lateral. You can make moves. You can switch up stuff. You can set traps. You can fight off the back foot. You can counter. You can switch angles. You ambidextric. What more? I mean, you already know how to do all this stuff and mastered it well. So don't throw in weight training or some other bullshit. Don't go and train in Vegas the whole time when you know it's the elevation in Colorado Springs that gives you the stamina that you got. You know what you got to do. Make him uncomfortable, in any kind of way that you can make him uncomfortable, but make him pick his foot up. Throw his rhythm off. Make him work for it. At the same time, it's not really much I could say about Bud being offensive because he does that shit all the time. Now, it might be something with these two fighters where they got to either employ the policy of jumping on one another right away, or they can sit there and gather data like they always do. But the problem with gathering data for any fighter, not just Bud, not just Errol, but for any fighter, is that sometimes you can be gathering too long and you can let some rounds slip past you and you can't get them back. So you have to be cognitive of that. Active said, yep, when he was still undefeated. The active activist, Peace God, Monica King said, that picture of Bud is classic. I got to get me one. Indeed. There's some old Crawford t-shirts coming out. Probably not made by him, but they nice. Shout out to the boxing fans worldwide. Welcome. And he said, what up, Marty King? Yeah, so that is, let me see, did I write anything else there? Because it ain't much he has to do. He has to be cognitive of those low blows. At least he has to bring it up to the ref. And the ref got to do his job. There cannot be a fight where the ref never calls that type shit. Because it doesn't matter. When you do it, whether you meant to do a low blow or not, all you're doing is giving yourself leverage. It's all kinds of leverage that can be gained from having a legal foul or a low blow. When the ref say you got 5 minutes, that's leverage. Because but not for that 5 minutes, he got to sit in the corner and gather his thoughts and calm his breathing down. If the fight would have continued, he could have get mauled over and knocked out because he tired. That's the whole point about boxing. If you don't prepare yourself, it'll show up in the ring. That's why you must condition yourself. So when the ref say you got 5 minutes, what that dude doing? He breathing in and out. He bringing himself back there. He calming himself down. And he's resetting at his opponent's expense. Like, his opponent is raring to go. But adrenaline probably, they making him reset. Because now that momentum is gone. Now you got to build that shit back up. That's leverage. That's leverage, believe it or not. When you hit somebody in the nuts, everybody different. You could freeze and be like, I don't even want to move my hips side to side. I don't want to spread my legs apart because I'm a little achy down there. Now, you're not mobile. Think about the people who've been in fights who are not mobile. Y'all love to bring up Jose Benavidez. No, I could tell his leg prevented him from being as mobile as he used to. Y'all, it's thundering around this mug, so don't be surprised if I lose some kind of internet connection. Just warning y'all. Modern King said, I can't call it. I got a new phone and earbuds, so I can kick it with you guys and gals sometimes while on the move. We appreciate you. He said, we ready. Uh, he said, the big fish fry is real, Miss T and chat. He's laughing. He said, that dude Spence a nutcracker for the realest boxing talk. Yeah. Cook their arse. Yeah. So, imagine, you know what I'm saying? Let me tell you, girls can get hurt down there too. Shit, I'm reminded of riding my pink banana seat bike, and I was riding real fast and I was hauling ass. Boy, I was running. I was in the wind, pedaling like a motherfucker. Slipped the pedal, flew, kind of slid forward, hit my shit in the part of the handlebar where it's screwed on. The I call it the knuckle. That little knuckle right there where the handlebar is screwed on to the bike. Man, I about fell the fuck over. I wasn't pedaling then. That shit stung. I don't know how y'all feel when y'all get hit that, but it was like a stinging feeling, the worst stinging feeling. Now, granted, it don't last forever. My shit was swollen too. You best believe I had to tell my mama, because I think around that age, I don't know if I was 7 or 8, maybe 8, 9, or I don't know, but she would still see me when I take my bath. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want her to say, "Girl, what the hell going on?" It was red and throbbing like swollen. I had to let her know. Oh, well, time will heal all wounds on that one. Active actor said a knuckle. Yeah, I don't know what to call it, but they got the bike that go, the way the girl bike versus the boy bike. The only problem is that you slip that pedal, you go flying into that. I used to ride motorcycles, y'all. You know how the motorcycle tank part is in the middle, in front of your legs or whatever. I was coming down a slight decline in Hawaii, over there by the bridge, by McDonald's. Active activist, like on my way down the main street to get to where I used to live. So I'm coming down there, and this car, you know how when you driving and you think the car in front of you gonna go, and then they go, and then you just be looking elsewhere, you going too, and then you look right in front of you and they had stopped. It was one of those things. So I'm coming down the hill. I ain't speedballing or nothing. So when I stopped, I knew I was gonna be able to stop good and not slide or, be like a scary thing like that. But I pulled the brakes, and because it was sudden, I slid up the seat and right into that round thing. And I'm thinking, how is that gonna hurt me? It's not small, it's big. It's not, I don't know what kind of force. I don't know what that was, but my shit was swollen. And I said, okay, how I'm gonna ride this bike? I was like, okay. And I don't know if it was the right thing to do, but I decided to sit closer to that round thing, and in the middle where you could put your gas at and everything. I decided to sit closer to that because I don't ever want to hit the brakes and slide into it again. Because listen, the swelling is like any swelling. It's irritating and it lasts for days. But the initial hit is only like a stinging feeling, like maybe a couple of minutes. But it's the swelling that gets on your nerves. So, yeah, you got to protect yourself. And the whole point I'm bringing that up is when you hurt down there, you don't want to move. I don't want to spread my legs. I don't want to do no cartwheel. I don't want to sit like stooping down. All the things you do every day that you take for granted, and I don't want to do any of that. And in fact, if it happened right after that, I'm ready to pull over. But when that happened, I was closer to my house. So I just made it home. But it took me a minute to get off the bike. Because, you got to, you know, stop the bike, park it, put your kickstand down and let it lean to the side, then raise your leg up to unstraddle the fucking bike. I didn't want to raise my leg up. I was trying to figure out a way to slide off that motherfucker. So I can imagine from what you guys say, if y'all get hit down there, I don't see the dude spreading his legs open, bending down, and all that stuff hurts. And you just gonna stay there. And that's the only way that I think that Errol Spence can get Terence to stand in front of him. But if Terence decide, like some fighters do, they decide because they're tired or whatever, maybe the punch that they got hit with really did hurt. Fighters will lean up against the rope, take a breath to catch their breath, or because they don't got no energy. They got to get their thoughts together. And that's when another fighter can attack you. So the keys to victory for him, as far as Terence, is to protect himself from that ever happening. That means raising awareness to the ref and asking the ref to please be fair and call him on it. Find out if they can do the replay on the video. It's Vegas, so I don't really know the rules. They probably can't. I forgot where you can the ref can utilize the replay. But you got to call him on it. And you got to penalize him. And I'm sure if whoever is out there living foul, you ain't going to want no point deducted every damn time. Every time you deduct a point, that's a round you lost. So, to me, the keys to victory for Terence Crawford is very simple. Take away like I said, take away the attributes. Make him lift his feet up and enhance what you already do. Like I said, if you run 6 miles, run 9. Make sure your stamina is of the utmost. Know how to mix your tools together from your tube kit. And try to be first in everything that you do. Whether it's feinting, whether it's jabbing, whether it's changing the look, setting the trap, be first. Because that's going to confuse him. It's all about more so a mental game on Terrence's part, because we know he can do all those other things. We know he can handle pressure and get a person off him. We know he can be aggressive. Hey, I'm on the show. I gotta call you back.
Okay,
all right, bye. So we know you can do all that stuff. So that's pretty much it. If y'all agree or don't, let me know. Either way, it's all to the good. Very simple. Let me go ahead and paste this. The link is in the chat. Well, while I'm waiting on somebody to pop up, Josh Taylor walked out of a joint interview with Teofimo Lopez this week. The reason why I'm bringing them up, because they got that fight this Saturday. That's the fight I want to see. Ever since the Catterall fight with Josh Taylor, I've been upset. I felt like I didn't like Josh Taylor as a boxer because I felt like he had a disregard for his fellow man, and I don't like that. Boxing is just a sport. You don't have to go in it trying to cause permanent damage. If you're doing low blows, some of the men ain't have kids yet. In fact, Josh Taylor just got married last year. I don't know if he's a father already or, before he got married. And if he didn't, what would it do him good to be a part of a sport where he could lose his ability to be a father? Why rob somebody of that? Or hitting people in the back of the head where they got to be a paraplegic? A lot of people in this boxing game, in the beginning, couldn't be a help to nobody, was probably considered useless by their family and friends because they ain't got money. Everything they got to put back into their craft. And then, the way they be shelving boxers today or underpaying them, Most of the time in the beginning of a boxer's career, he can be considered a burden on his family and friends. So, it's they gotta think about that stuff when you want to hit somebody in the back of their head that can make them be a paraplegic. I mean, boxers need to think about that. Anytime you in a sport that's arduous, whether it's football or basketball, uh, you out here living high off the hog and doing what you want and not giving a fuck about nobody feelings. What if you get into that one boxing match or you get into that one game where you become paralyzed or paraplegic or something like that? Now you need people to help you. Now all them people that you and disregarded on your way up, you'll wish you had them giving a damn about you. But Josh Taylor will hit you in the back of your head. When I say he a dirty, grimy fighter, that motherfucker dirty. Now there's dirty and then there's grimy dirty. Josh Taylor is grimy dirty. But like some of y'all say, the ref don't call it. A lot of times the ref didn't call it. But I think that's a travesty, for the ref not to call it. You cannot say all of us see it, but the ref don't see it. I don't get shit like that. But with Josh, you have to worry about all of that stuff. Talking about, I was talking about low blows on Errol Spence. That's why people ask me, like, do you consider him a dirty fighter? I was like, no. Josh Taylor is a grimy, dirty fighter. He definitely trying to do stuff that's gonna cause permanent damage. It might affect your life expectancy. He hits you in the back when you ain't supposed to hit nobody. Those rules are there for a reason. Sensory Pictures is in the building. What's Papa King? He said you're giving Earl way too much credit. Easiest fight Bud would ever fight. No, if you was sensory, I said in the beginning, this will be the most simplistic keys to victory. Now I talk more in depth. I tend to geek stuff out, but overall, all Bud got to do is do the things that which he's always done to get him to this dance, to get him to this moment. If anything he do, he needs to, I would say, enhance it. So, for instance, if he runs 6 miles, run 9. Let there be no question that you gonna run out of steam, no matter what Spence do to you. All he got to do is take away a couple of Spence's attributes, and Spence has nothing left. If you take away the jab and the body / nut shot, what do Spence got? A lot of people gonna say, "Oh, you don't know, Miss T. He be in the gym." There's a such thing as a superb athlete in the gym, but when the lights come on, they don't be. That is a real thing, by the way. If it won't, even Floyd Mayweather mentions that. Yeah, we're gonna see how you do when the lights turn on. It is a such thing. Y'all talking to each other, cool. So that's all Bud got to do. Don't depart from what got him here. Just enhance it. And maybe the last week, I don't know how they do their boxing. They know boxing more than me. The last week I wouldn't spar for sure. I think a lot of people adopt those ways, but that one fighter that Adrian Broner lost, he was sparring and into the last weeks of training, and wound up getting hurt. Remember when Spence broke his eye, got his eye broke, like they like to call him the eye breaker, the eye catcher. Okay, what was he doing? Going balls to wall in the gym, close to a mega fight. Why would you do that? Sparring is not supposed to be like. A lot of people use the sparring to say who's better because they going balls to wall or whatever. Yes, sparring there's people that do that too. But like when we will spar people, let's say I want some of the young guys to work on their jab. I would say, listen, I look at this one guy and I say, don't try to hurt him, but don't lay off on him. You can use both hands and whatever you got to use in boxing to get at him. But I'll tell the other one, you can only use your jab. And sometimes putting against kids, it's always a knucklehead in the bunch. So sometimes I would have to put like one of the grown men in there who know how to take it easy, or one of the other coaches. I don't do it because, on my torso, I got these two little girls. I ain't trying to ever have no oops situation. But I'll put a guy in that be like a lot older, and they know not to go hard on the children. So I said, just put that pressure on them. Just be on them, throw the jab, just touching them, whatever. And that kid who needs to practice jabbing, that's what the whole sparring session was for him to practice jabbing with punches coming at him, meaning he got to stay calm, cool, collective. He don't depart from the steps of a proper jab. He don't depart from having the right position, feet placement, or whatever, while punches are coming at him. And he still tried to be first in his jabs and move around, keep his head on a swivel, slip shots, turn them, set traps, all that. But your only arsenal is the jab. And we would do that weeks at a time. Because how is the person going to learn? To me, that's sparring. That's sparring. Nobody got hurt or whatever. Of course, you're going to have your times when somebody get in there and go balls to wall and really, y'all just really trying to outdo each other. But all this hardcore shit, no, it's supposed to correct the deficiency in like real time. Because, I mean, we could say it on paper like, yo, be first. Throw your jab out there. Move side to side. That you can talk it through. But you have to physically execute it for it to get into your system and your body to have muscle memory, and you just instinctively do it. So that's what sparring is to me, to correct deficiencies. I realize that I could be one of few people, one of many people that may think that way, and there'll be many people that see it another way. But I hope that Bud, I'm not, I don't wish nothing bad on Spence, but I'm rooting Bud. So I hope that everything that they normally do or how they get ready for a fight works really well, and they have a good camp, and he keeps those things in mind, which I'm sure he already know. Anything I can say, those guys are more knowledgeable than me and all that, but that's how I see it playing out. So Sensory, no, I'm not giving Earl too much credit. Earl is not a slouch. But for Bud to beat Earl, it's going to be real simple. It's a mental game, and it's simple stuff that he do masterfully anyway. Make him uncomfortable, make him pick up his feet, and take away two of his attributes. Fucking Errol Spence will be a dead fish in water. He will be the shark if you turn him on his back, because if you turn a shark on their back, they go into a coma. Real facts. They go into a coma and they don't wake up until they flip back over. And I mean, it's instinctive. As soon as they go in their back coma, a shark could die. They'll drown. Yes, sharks can drown, or fish can drown, if they're not properly expanding their gills and all that. When you're in a coma, you're not doing none of that. So if you flip them back over real quick, as soon as they get on their belly, they'll wake right up and go right into eating your ass. So, in case y'all out there this summer, be careful at these beaches. They got sharks. Mark Nash said, never seen Bud this happened before a fight. Me either. Sometimes, Mark, I'd be having the superstition. I would be like, man, it'd be just his luck. He been clamoring and wanting that, and some freaky thing happened. Barring Bud making a mistake. And he could, he's human. Barring Bud underestimating Spence. And he could, he's human. I can't see nothing that Spence can do that's gonna stop this ass whooping. Real talk. Now I done dropped the link. Anybody want to come in and say anything? As far as Josh Taylor, let me get back to him. So he walks out a joint interview, and girl, you scared me. My dog ran down here messing with my toes. I'm like, who is this? Anyway, he walked out the interview because he just plain no tired of T.O. in his mouth. He couldn't take hearing the nonsense anymore. He said, dude is waffling, whatever that mean over there. But I think it means he talking out the side of his neck and he tired of his shit. Josh said, T.O. is not making sense. He pretty much is babbling on and lying because recently, T.O. is out there saying, well, when I was undisputed, Josh was like, pause, hold up, break. Nigga, you won't never undisputed. Mark Nash says tonic immobility. Exactly. Spence the gonad goblin protect your jewels. That's a good one, Juice Lee. Mark said Bud gonna make mistakes, but Spence isn't one punch Wilder type guy. He'll be fine. Yeah, they both gonna get hit. I expect both of them to get hit, and I expect Spence to make Bud think and pause. I don't know how bad it can hurt him, but I wouldn't be shocked if he did hurt him. I expect him to give him pause and be like, whoa, let me not go there again. I expect that from both of them. But it's probably going to be a battle of attrition. I think that's what they call it. And it's going to have a lot to do with their stamina and conditioning. I know that Blue Red said, you better hope he don't call me. That's not a guarantee to success. Because all that, you can work yourself. The problem with that, and why I don't think that will happen. Now, I understand that they believe that that's the case, and I'm not going to say it ain't the case. That when Blu-ray get with Spence, that, that's when he had the knockouts and all that. I mean, that's what the records show. That's what the records show. But here's the thing. Spence got to drop a lot of weight. So if Terence up his miles of running or up his conditioning in any kind of way, Spence is going to be burnt out. You talking about two people who are always well conditioned when they do fight. I've heard somebody say, well, if Spence, if y'all say he ain't focused and look at what he's able to do when he ain't even all the way focused, then that's great. That's great for him. That means he was God gifted. But that don't mean that Terence ain't neither. What's up, Mark Nash? What you got on it?
What's popping with you, fam? How you feel?
I'm feeling good. I'm happy about this fight coming up.
I got a little cough right now. It's part of me.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah, but
Get the cough up.
yeah, I was listening to these guys, man, out here, and I just think there's a lot of delusions going on and I think there's a lot of go gadget arms. They reaching because if your plan of beating Bud is well, Gamboa hurt him, so Spence gonna hurt him, bro. That was almost 10 years ago. That was like 9 years ago. This ain't even the same fighter. Crawford don't even. He's way better than he was back then. I remember it was still kind of. I remember when he switched southpaw during that fight, and they was telling him it was like, oh, he need to switch back. Talking about the commentators, it was
Yeah.
like he need to switch back. He's getting hit clean and getting hit flush, but that didn't last too long, and it was over. In that round that they talking about, he got hurt. The fight ended the same round. They always leave out what happens after quote unquote he got hit. So your two
Yes.
go tos. out of 39 fights is
Mhm.
Gamboa and Green Machine.
And we
Brother.
supposed to believe that Spence in return never gets hurt. Never.
Right, but he lost the biggest fight of his life from Pacquiao because he got his eye taken in sparring, but he the eye collector.
Yeah. Probably because he was doing team too much in training. And like I've had debates with people about the healing of your eye next to your teeth, or maybe in front of your teeth. Number one and number two, and they can be interchangeably. The nerves in your eye and in your mouth is the most excruciating nerves. Like when you're in pain, I don't think childbirth can compare to it. Eye pain can make you drop to your knees and holler. And I'm talking about simple shit. Like get a cyst on your eye. And cyst where if I'm looking at your eye mark, I can't see it. They have to bring one of those magnified things and they be like, oh, it's this little cyst because people get cysts on their eyes.
But
When I tell you the pain,
when I first started YouTube, I I had they had to I ended up getting I used to get a cyst or a style in my eye because just staring at the blue lights. I didn't know that
yeah,
was something that can happen, and I had to
right.
take some kind of vitamins like
Hmm.
to actually strengthen like the layer that's naturally over your eye because
Hmm.
that ultraviolet light from the TV and the computers over time. Not to mention I had a ring light too, so it was just burning my eyes down. And man, shoot, after 3 years of YouTube, now I need glasses. I wear glasses now.
Oh, that's crazy. And
Yeah, just
see,
just being on YouTube since 2020. I had to get glasses. What in 2021, 2022, something like that. I had to start wearing glasses because it was just damaging my eye. Just doing long shows with the ring light, reading the chat was
mhm.
just it messed my eye up. And I
And
would
the
get
thing,
and it would just start watering. I'd just be standing there
mhm,
for nothing, and my eyes would just be watering and watering and watering. I got to keep wiping them. And then they
mhm.
irritated. They drying out.
Like a lot of people like to show their self on camera. And I used to do it too, but I have the allergies. We talked about that before, and so I didn't want to be on camera. And then they be like, Miss T, what happened to your eye? What's happened to your lip, Miss T? Miss T. I didn't want to get caught off guard. That's a vanity thing. Why I didn't want that. So as you see, I got my lovely picture, but I cut on the lights. When they tell you put lights on, like overhead, like your room light or a light that's not gonna burn you in the eye or anything like that, like what you say you experienced, you need to do that. And looking at devices will mess up your eyes and it will cause pain. Like everybody eyes get
Headaches
worse
and everything.
when they start looking at devices on the regular. A lot of people gonna go blinder quicker, and sometimes you gotta give your eyes a rest. But like right now, because I have the lights on, I just like since you said it, I was like, damn, I got my room light on, so let me just turn this damn because I got special lights too for the green screen, and I said let me turn them shits off because your eye can feel like it's swollen or throbbing. Like I'm telling you, there's nothing like eye pain. So this notion that Errol Spence uh got this eye injury and that he was a-okay fine because when you get the injury, you can't jump up and down, you can't run, you can't do that. Even when you got a cut, they tell you don't do it because you'll make yourself excessively bleed. But like with that eye injury, he had to sit his ass down somewhere. And when you think about the time it took for him to come back from the eye injury, see, he had the eye injury in July and he fought in April. I guarantee you, if he was smart, he set his ass down to at least mid January, the end of January, maybe the 1st of February. Because to do anything else, you're going to cause problems. Them eye injuries do not heal as fast as I think somebody tried to say. I said, no, they don't. They
Man,
don't.
these guys at like EJ is super nigga, man. Respectfully, like brother, he is a human. He's
Mm-hmm.
a human. And I used to tell him, I was like, bro, how many fights you think that car accident took off his career? Like none. Shoot, he bounced right back. He beat Danny Garcia. I was like, bro, I saw his face the way he looked. He
Yeah.
never looked like that after no fight before. This was worse than a beating, bro. This was worse than it was looking like Billy Collins with the resto gloves, bro. He took damage bouncing off that concrete. And y'all just act like, nah, he all right, and it's nothing. It's no residual effects. And it take the fighter himself to admit, like, yo, stuff been bothering me. Stuff still hurts. So I don't feel the same. I had to go to counseling, PTSD, and things like that. And I was like, oh, so now y'all get it. Y'all thought I was just saying that because I think Bud was gonna beat him. Like, no, he's a human, bro. And when it comes to this layoff, you're not gonna beat a guy. I just don't see him beating a guy like Terence Crawford coming off of. When they get into the ring, it's gonna be a 469-day layoff, a year and 3 months, and a few days compared to Bud is gonna be coming in off of 7 months.
So do you think that he have to use his tactic, his normal tactic of low blows? Matter of fact, you wasn't here yesterday, but we were talking about that. Do you think that he used that tactic on purpose, or that he's going to have to employ that tactic with Bud, because he does it with everybody? But
Man, I never noticed it that much until that Sean Porter fight. I was like, oh, he do this, and then you see it in the Ugas fight too. Like, oh, he does this.
you
He
can see
he
him do it in no combo.
yeah, he shoot that left low all the time. But I think Bud is mean enough, and he's just so crafty. You hit Bud low, he gonna hit you back low instantly.
You
He gonna
see
make
my
the ref.
screen?
I see it right here. Yeah,
This is Phil LaGreco. Tell me when Phil LaGreco had a chance against Errol. So some people gonna say he had his hand on his neck. Errol still know where he punch is as active
he
actors
looking right at it.
punch placement. Look at that. I don't know if y'all see my little hand. I'm
Yeah,
grabbing dude. I'm grabbing this shit. All up in there, right? I mean,
right.
he in there. I thought that would hurt y'all. Looking with Lamont Peterson, the next picture, he looking right at it, like you just said. So to me, it's purposely done. Now, if it's purposely done, you have to speculate why is it purposely done. And to my knowledge, the only reason why you would do that, if all of y'all men know this is a camaraderie thing. Like, I can't go to no man and try to justify hitting a nigga in the nuts. Yeah, every dude, it don't matter who I'm talking to, what race they are, all of y'all gonna be in consensus like, nah, that ain't the business. So if he's purposely doing that, why is he doing that? It's a leverage thing. You ain't gonna be at your strongest or healthy if it's anything that's gonna zap the stamina or whatever out of you. It will be that. And then what you do, you gonna stand still, because sometimes that shit frees y'all, and then he gonna have the time to sit down on his punches, which I try to tell people. It don't look like the elites make it look effortlessly done, or they make it look like it's so simple. But if you stood up there as a person that's not an elite and try to go through the proper steps of jabbing, 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 pushing somebody back, and then sitting down on your punch when you got them in position, providing they don't move, that's tick tock, tick tock. That's time. So how
Oh
did he have
yeah.
that kind of time?
Yeah, he found ways to give little breaks like that. Even with that mouthpiece, like he was like, my mouthpiece don't fit. I remember he did that interview with his girl, and he was making it seem like, well, basically he said he wasn't. He didn't say this, but he was alluding to the fact, hey, I wasn't hurt. My mouthpiece just fell out, and I was looking for my teeth. I thought he knocked my partial out. I didn't want to be embarrassed, brother. That's a lapse in concentration, no matter what it is. And you slip like that against Crawford, it's a wrap. But also, he did it before.
Yeah.
He's done that before. He did it in the Van Heerden fight and
And
got a
then
nice little 10 to 12 second break. And then he was able to, because these high level athletes, they don't need a lot of time to recover sometimes.
mm-hmm.
And that little 10 to 12 seconds was enough, to clear the cobwebs, and he went in there and finished his work. But
Right.
I'm telling you, man, that don't just keep happening. It buys time. You spit the mouthpiece out, look down there, look away, kind of let the referee know, like, hey, I dropped my stuff.
And
But
most people will agree with you, but when it come to like on any fighter, Any fighter, when Keith Thurman spit that mouthpiece out, there's two things that can be going on. He can't breathe. He really did get hurt because sometimes they'll spit it out because they can't breathe. That's what it is. And they try to get as much air to
Oh,
continue as they could.
and let
But
me add to
also,
what you said. Another reason he gets hit like that because he might have his mouth open when he like getting
yeah,
some air, trying to get some breath. So when you get hit in your mouth with the mouth open, you will see that mouthpiece dropping out. So that comes from not training all the way and going through fat camp and only
yeah,
training when you got to fight, not not
breaking
biting
in,
down on your gum shield.
yeah, breaking in your mouthpiece. Don't come in with a brand new mouthpiece the day of the fight. Break that joint in before you get there, and make sure you got a snug mouthpiece. But also, like, that's to buy time. We know that fighters do that. That's a tactic. We know that the ref 9 times out of 10 gonna break the fighting, and then pick up the mouthpiece, take it to the corner, rinse it off, say put it back in his mouth. Like you said, that 12 seconds is all they need when you're talking about elite fighters. So these are all leverages. Sometimes you need a break. When people claim they got hit low, like in the Amir Khan and Bud Crawford fight, it's possible that Bud really hurt him low blow. I don't think so though. I think he hit him on the belt area, but Amir Khan leaned into that and played that
Man,
out.
he was chopping that boy up. And if
Yeah,
you see the way Amir Khan face look, you would think that fight was a 10, 12 round fight. That fight
yeah,
that fight was very short and his face was all pieced up.
yeah.
He quit, man.
He quit.
Same with Kovalev. Kovalev too. Kovalev was talking about War was in them too low, man. Come on, bro.
Yeah,
Quit.
they quit. Sometimes you can get that when you go to the gut, like they say, you got the kidney punch, the liver punch that can really pause you, and then you got the diaphragm. You can't even fake those punches. So like the Ryan Garcia one, I believe he was hurt, but I don't think it was a liver punch because he got up right at 10, but as he was getting up, the ref was like waving off, "Nah, dude, you done."
Yeah, he said
You
he
know.
hit me on my rib. He hit that part of my rib and I didn't want to continue. That's what he
Yeah.
said. If you watch that all access epilogue, you can hear
Hmm.
the corner, him and Joe Goose, and he said, Ryan, did he get some of that rib? I was like, yeah, he hit me right there on that rib. I guess he was already injured from that rib, like we had heard.
And they knew the mics was on. That was for us, so to make it look
Yeah.
more like oh yeah, he might have hurt, dude. That punch, you right? Like I said, it probably hurt. You hit me in the stomach, and I don't got no broken ribs right now or nothing. I'm gonna go down and be like, oh my god, shit. Whew, I'm gonna catch my breath and shit. It might make
Right.
me sit down for a minute,
Look,
but
I was playing with my daughter and she jumped. We was sitting on the couch and she just jumped from one side of the couch to the other. And her little leg, she's 3, her knee hit me right there, like in where the liver area is at. And I'm like, yo, my man. Like, little girl, you don't get off of me, like, cause you don't. I didn't see it coming. I didn't know what was happening. I was just watching TV and she just playing around and boom, hit me right there on the side, right there where that liver part is at. And I was like, yo, that was a knee to the liver, yo. And this is
yeah,
a 3-year-old
yeah. And look,
jumping
quiet
off
as kept.
something.
Quiet as kept.
Kid's tough,
Miss
man.
Miss T then delivered some low blows to my daddy with them big ass baby shoes. I remember even like because we wore them shoes for a minute. So I ain't gonna say I was a baby. I don't want y'all to think I remember one and under, but maybe like 2.5, 3. I remember when I. My daddy would pick me up. He'd be moving and positioning himself, like active actors say, closing them legs and look, little girl, don't hit me with them big ass shoes, them old stride right shoes we used to wear back in the day. I'm sure I'd have clucked a couple of nuts in my day or two or whatever. But
But I
yeah,
think the layoff gonna be a bigger issue than the low blows though, Miss T. I think that 469-day layoff, also that history of alcoholism is gonna be a problem, bro. You're not gonna beat a guy like Terence Crawford with 3 car accidents, an eye injury, history of alcoholism, and a
mhm.
469-day layoff. Not this guy.
But the only way he can do it is to do the dirty tactics. If they work, they work. That's his leverage. Because if he do it once or twice, then you could say it's coincidence or it just sometimes it do happen. I agree with that. But every fighter that he fights, every fighter, I know plenty of fighters that go 10 fights without no incidents like that, and maybe one fight they'll have it. Like you can count on one hand out of 50 fights that a fighter could have had where they had a low blow incident where they hit low, you know. But Errol Spence, every fighter, sensory picture say Errol Spence is nowhere near the skill as Crawford, and that's what we're both saying. Mark would agree with that. He's just an average pressure fighter. Yeah, pressure though, it works for him. He's I would say not. I know y'all would say I'm giving Errol credit, but I'm just being honest. For him to rely on the skills that he have, which are his fundamentals, he has done a lot of great things with just that. Imagine if the dude knew how to move on the back foot and counter on the back foot or do
Come on now.
movements. And just imagine if he had the skills that Terence Crawford had. Can you imagine?
Look, I used to hear guys say, I used to tell them all the time. We would be talking. I was like, look, man, Errol fight the same way all the time, man. He fight the same way all the time. They were like, no, he don't. He got different styles. But I'm like, no, he don't, bro. He fight the same way. It's good. It was working, but it's the same way. Now they was all in denial, but now that the fight is here, they like, you know what? He's the Tim Duncan of boxing. I was like, since when? Now, so now he's Mr. Fundamental, and he fight every
Yeah.
fight the same way, and he's so fundamentally sound. But y'all never said that before. Y'all was talking about he was so creative with his offense and did all this
Mhm.
original stuff. Like, no, now it's coming to the head. I think these dudes are nervous because they all called Bud a bum, said he ain't fought nobody, questioned his resume, he ain't did this, ain't did that. But now, Bud is a great fighter. Your future Hall of
Mhm.
Famer, man. He's a great fighter, man. Yeah, this ain't gonna be no easy fight, man. This is a tough fight. Give both guys credit. I'm like, nah. Y'all said he was a bum and he ain't did nothing. He was a coward. He was a duck. But now we see this fight is almost here and these boys getting nervous. So I'm gonna jump
Yeah.
back in the chat, man. I appreciate you having me on
Oh, thank you for coming through.
for sure.
Thank you for coming through. Sensory, he said it works with the opposition he's had. Yeah. And so that's why I say to bring up the resume, I got to the point where I remember back in the day they had the Bum of the Month Club, and you would say that person is a tomato can, and I engaged in those talk. But then, and I don't know if you want to say, Mystique, because you biased or whatever, but I can't, when I became a coach in boxing, I was like, to call somebody a bum or a tomato can, that just cannot be, not for me. Um, Even though I get what somebody is saying, you basically saying that person is not on the level. He's like a B, maybe, or a C level fighter, which when you're fighting an elite fighter, there's a lot of daylight in between those levels. So I get it what they're trying to say, but out of respect, because a B level fighter to me can't be a bum, not even a C, not even a D, because I guarantee you they doing more than you will ever do in a day. They doing way more than you. First of all, let's start with the road work. I'm not getting up every day in the middle of the night or in the morning and running no fucking miles like that. I hope I know y'all hear that thunder out there. It's about to start shaking my house. I feel the rumble. But yeah, I'm not doing that. And I'm not jumping rope for 15 minutes straight or more, which they probably do 30 minutes or more jumping rope. Who the hell does that straight? I know when we was kids, we was some jumping rope asses, but I'm gonna tell you, as an adult woman, hell to the now. Wake up the next day, gotta put bandages or something around my chest. Man, that's hurtful. I'm not jumping up and down like that. You know what I'm saying? Every day. So all the stuff that these fighters have to do to get in there, and it's like if you run down Bud's resume, according to a lot of Spence fans, they are all bums. They're all, they worthless. And I don't think that's right. I think in their haste to put Bud down, they putting innocent bystanders down. I don't think that Postal want you to think of him as that, or Felix Diaz, or Yuriorkis Gamboa, or even in Dongo, you didn't know him, but the man had 2 belts. He didn't get them in Africa. He went to Europe and got them. So he got them off of some European, you know, and he mistakenly thought he was gonna have a chance with Bud. You know what I'm saying? Sensory said, "No, Miss T, you can match make your way to a championship." That may be true, but you're a champion. If the ref and the judges cheat, like okay, let me give an example. Rolly Romero just became champion at 140. So you can call him 2 division world champion. Once a champion, always a champion. You know, right? You can always refer to them that. Not that they're actively a champion, but once they're a champion, they'll always be referred as a champion. That's how we do it. But do anybody believe that Rolly? A lot of y'all don't believe that Rolly should have got that championship. You can say what you want, slice it, dice it, however. That man is a 140-pound champion. He did it before Tio. He did it before Devin. You know what I'm saying? He's done it before Shakur. You know, I think Tank had the Reggie belt at 142. At 142, as in TOO. So not before Tank. But he's done it. Rolly, no matter what you think, he ain't the most skillful fighter. But Rolly can fight. And Rolly does hit hard. So let's say that Rolly was fighting Devin, who is a skilled boxer. The same thing that Tank did as far as Rolly running into stuff, he's going to roll into stuff with Devin. But would Devin be powerful enough to knock him out? It's possible, but I can't guarantee. You don't want to take that chance with somebody like a Tank, but you might could take that chance with Devin. But if Devin get hit clean a couple of times with Rolly punches as hard as he hit, I don't know, and I'm not saying he can't. I don't know if he will fold because I think what's his name, Rolly, probably hit harder than Lomachenko, and Devin was having a problem with Lomachenko. Okay, how you slice it, dice it, whatever. Lomachenko hurt Devin several times. Definitely not a bum. He said, people call Gabe Rosado a bum. He ain't a bum neither, but I bet money he'll be everyone. He damn sure will. You ever see that dude physique? Gabe Rosado, he put me in the mind of Adrian Granados. You know, Granados is he's a great fighter. He don't get all the respect that he don't get disrespect, but he don't get all the credit, I guess I would say, as he should. He's not an easy win. And he's had a lot of unfortunate mishaps happen in his career. That, you know, if he was just, you know, there, you know, for somebody different, it's like one of the things, like, if he was there 2 seconds before, you know, maybe shit would have went differently. I don't know. But he's had a lot of, you know, unfortunate things happen in his competition and during his career. But other than that, the man is a good fighter. And I think he's Hall of Fame worthy, but he don't have the hardware and the accolades, and it may take him time to get there. But he's a great fighter. And anybody at I don't know what weight class he fight now. Might be 147. Anybody who fight him gonna have a hard time. Because remember, Conor Ben got caught, you know, with the geek, and Conor Ben must have been on it when he fought Granados, and Conor Ben was knocking everybody out except him. And all Conor Ben do is go hard and swing hard, and everything he throw is hard. That's fine when you're young. What about when you get older? It's like Floyd said, he had to adapt. Floyd was knocking motherfuckers out too. until his hands got brittle and started breaking or having problems with his hands, he had to find a different way to win the fight. It wasn't that he took it easy on you. He couldn't go balls to wall like he used to. Martin King said, if you enjoy boxing talk, hit the like and subscribe. Indeed. He said, this is why they have the HOF. Rolly would not get in. One day, I don't know, he's still young. The night is young. Sister, I don't know. I don't consider him the greatest fighter, but he can fight. He know enough to get in that ring. You know what I'm saying? And he know enough to hurt anybody in his weight class. Devin would beat Rolly all night long and change his mind about fighting. Maybe. You see, and I'm going to tell you, out of everybody who fought Tank, only 2 people fought him like they weren't scared, like, nigga, let's bring it. Or they weren't overly cautious. And that was Rolly and Isaac Cruz. The only 2. Sister said Devin swole up Loma's entire skull. Come on now. Now, Sister. Devin got his ass beat. He will never get into the Hall of Fame. Who you talking about, Loma? Loma going. They're going to make sure that whether we believe it or not, I don't disbelieve it and I don't believe it. I don't know how I feel about it. I've never thought about it that much. He said he was losing to a 50-year-old. Yeah, I don't think Devin would beat Tank. Tank is one of them fighters. There's really no such thing as you ahead of Tank. You really can't count it. Because Tank gonna come through and he gonna catch you. He gonna catch you slipping and it's gonna be all over. It's gonna be night. Say, I don't know what fight you saw. Hey, Devin got his ass whooped, dog. General Big Fish is in the building. Was popping. King said, Boss T, happy I get to hear you talk boxing. Thanks. I heard y'all too. I be happy when I listen to y'all. But y'all be on going into the night. I be in the bed just listening or whatever. And I can't, all my stuff is on the other side of the room. So sometimes I want to chime in, but I be like way in the bed. I be like, man, I ain't getting out this bed. You know, especially when you get in a comfortable spot. You know, I don't know if my pending move, because I'm buying another house, y'all. So I'm packing up stuff. So like, you know, even though I don't walk around like I'm stressed and I don't think I'm stressed, I could be stressed. So going to sleep at the proper time at night is very important to me, because I know if you don't pay attention to stuff like that, you know, it can get away from you and you know, can just make you sick. You know, when you're young, you can get away with that shit. When you get older, you got to think about your health. You know what I'm saying? So not getting proper sleep at night is me thinking about my health. So I just, once I get in the bed, I don't be fucking around. I don't get up. I don't come back over here to the computer or nothing. And like I said, it's way on the other side of the room. He said Devin would be Tank. Yeah, I don't see that. Good thing 3 judges didn't see it that way. Well, I mean, Devin, it's just a matter of time. That's the bad thing about putting the cart before the horse. That's what I feel that they did with Spence in the beginning. I mean, Spence is a good fighter, but the way they was build him up and put the cart before the horse with him, I guess that's why I probably reached for the underdog, because I was like, the underdog was always Terence, even though I thought he was better. When you put the cart before the horse, as how y'all said, you got to see me. All them people you pass up, you got to see them. You know, Devin looked right at Shakur and said, I'm number 1. Like, he just so happy, like, hi, I'm number 1. But Devin, Shakur will beat your ass. Easy. Very easy. You cannot say that Devin IQ is better than Shakur's. Shakur's and Devin, you could almost say they're similar in IQ, but I think Shakur got a little more. Devin, you see Shakur's traps that he set. You see the thinking that's going on in his head as he's fighting. the meticulousness, the strategy, when he about to trap you, he set the trap. I never see that when I watch Devin. But Devin is a great fighter. I ain't taking that from him. He's a great fighter. But because they build him up like that, when he face a person like Tank, if he face Isaac Cruz, hell, he gonna have problems. If he face Shakur, if Devin take his ass up to 140, he's food. That's why you don't embellish and put the cart before the horse, because you're gonna pay for that. You're gonna eat your words. Haney can't get anything but better than Mystique. Yeah. But as he's getting better, they all are getting better. Haney versus Stevenson is a 50. Nah. Steven watch them. Their styles are different. He said, we'll see. Yeah, we have to see. I really do think that Shakur will watch Devin easy. I don't think that Devin will have a chance with Shakur at all. Some people, Shakur said, people think I ain't got no power, but I do. Hey, maybe he don't have to go to that game. I can't say that I look at Shakur and say, ooh, you such a knockout artist. You be just hurting niggas. We all know that they got some kind of power. If they didn't, everybody would just run through them, right? Ain't nobody just running through Devin, so he got some kind of power. But he ain't got that it factor. Now Tank got that out of all three. But Shakur is just a better sound boxer than Devin to me. And as Devin getting better, so are they. They all about around the same age. They gonna grow old together in that boxing career. So nobody's gonna. You can look at them literally right now and guesstimate like how much better they gonna get going to the future over the next one. They all gonna get better at the same time because they are all elite fighters. So even if you're an elite fighter, there's still more that you can learn. Crawford and Spence, for instance. I can't say that Crawford is no more of a dog than Spence, or Spence is more of a dog than Crawford. I can't say that. They both dogs. Once a dog, always a dog. They both dogs, right? But ain't nobody gonna convince me that Spence has more tools in his bag. I haven't seen it. And if he only displays it in sparring or in the gym, shame on him. I mean, if I saw it, I would say that about him. But I never see it. Now, and again, as I told y'all, life is filled with people who, when they at practice or in the gym, they the bomb.com. They the it depends when the lights turn on, as Floyd would say. How you gonna act then? Y'all remember Ralph Sampson, who used to play for VCU? Now I watch basketball a little, not a lot, because everybody around me was watching basketball. This is back in the day when the average household had one TV. So if somebody was in there watching basketball, which my cousin was, and yelling, he made watching basketball fun. I mean, other than that, because he be so into it and passionate and yelling and talking and woo-wee and all this bullshit. So when we did watch it with him, it was okay. It made it fun. But I remember he was in the Ralph Sampson. And what I remember about Ralph Sampson, he was tall as a bitch, brother, playing for VCU, if I'm not mistaken. And they just knew Ralph Sampson was going to be the shit. They even had a tennis shoe that was named after him. Was that the Ponies or the Pumas? One of them. Y'all, anybody in the chat remember, let me know. Because I can't remember the actual shoe design. But they named the shoe out. He had a shoe deal. Let me just say it like that. Ralph Sampson never really amounted to nothing in the pros. I guess he came and was gone quick. I don't even know if he got drafted or did he play 1 year or whatever. But I remember he was the hot ticket item in college. He was the top dog, one of many in the country. But in the pro, nothing. Nothing. Then you got Allen Iverson, whose favorite sport was football. And I think he said he did better in football than he did basketball. I think. Ooh, look, y'all heard that. Now I know y'all heard that, and that shit lit up right here in front of me. So, Miss T is not gonna tempt fate because Mother Nature is undefeated, and I'm right here by this window. So, I'm so glad we had this time together. In my Carol Burnett voice, man, this lightning. I gotta go. Which one of them has been undisputed? Who are you talking about? Bud and Spence? Of course, Bud. Or you talking about Devin Haney and all them? Devin. But you guys, look, I'm not tempting fate. This lightning is crucial. My house is shaking from all the thunder. I'm out. But listen, the keys to victory overall, my bottom line was that Bud just gotta be himself. I would tell Bud to enhance what he do, like run more miles, or leading up to the end of the fight, like the last week or so, don't do nothing arduous to hurt yourself. Relax or whatever. This is in the bag. It's gonna be easy. Take away his attributes. Do like Sean Porter say, make him uncomfortable. That's all you gotta do. Make him uncomfortable. Make him pick up his feet. That's Bud Keys to victory. And he gotta make awareness to the low blows for the ref. So the ref can be on the lookout for that and penalize Errol Spence. He won't keep doing it. Injury stopped Ralph's career. Oh, okay, General. I know you know, yeah. So injury stopped his career. But he won't much in the pros. How you get, I don't know. The way my cousin was talking, like, man, what the fuck is you doing? And blah, blah, I don't know. But my point was, you can be a star in the goddamn gym and mediocre when it comes time for prime time. It always can be the case. So we'll see. Be out on the lookout of this new drug. And I believe that a lot of fighters are going to get caught up in it. So I'm already having some empathy or sympathy. I wanted to talk about that. Called Osterin. Apparently it's in some foods. They trying to make it a medicine that they use for certain ailments that people have, but it is not approved yet. But a lot of people have been taking it. It helps you cut fat and body fat and whatever. It's illegal. So maybe up to this point, people have been using it, and it's in certain things. And now they're bringing attention to it. This is new on the scene. The WBC had put out something about that on their clean boxing program page or whatever. So they want to say, that's coming down the pike. Again, you're going to have some unfortunate boxers that get caught up in it. Maybe our favorite fighters might get caught up in it. But this is something new on the scene. Josh Taylor is so fired up. He going to beat the dog shit out of T.O. And I normally ride with T.O. I want T.O. to win. But Josh Taylor going to beat the dog shit out of him. He tired of his ass and his lying ass. And he want him to shut up. They have increased security just so nothing go down between Josh and T.O. Because it's at the point where Josh can't stand to be in the same room. And that's all I got today. Thank y'all for listening and everything to the keys. A victory for Bud is more simple, I think, than the keys of victory for Errol Spence. But like anything, we'll have to wait and see the July 29th. And remember, anything can happen. They just human beings. So, in my Pamela James voice. That's the end of the show because it's thundering and lightning over here. Peace.